The Alaska summit will go down as Putin's big win at the cost of Donald Trump's high-stakes meeting pulling off very little in terms of deliverables for Washington, or Trump's hope of a no peace prize. Over 8 clear factors, Putin has come out stronger and the clear winner. There's no other way to read this. The mere fact that Vladimir Putin was sitting across the table from a former U.S. president is a giant leap from being labeled a global outcast.
It is known that there have been no summits between Russia and the U.S. for 4 years, and that's a long time. This time was very hard for bilateral relations, and let's be frank, they have fallen to the lowest point since the Cold War. I think that's not benefiting our countries and the world as a whole. It is apparent that sooner or later we had to amend the situation to move on from the confrontation to dialogue. And in this case, a personal meeting between the heads of state has been long overdue, naturally under the condition of serious and painstaking work, and this work has been done in general. Me and President Trump have very good direct contact. We've spoken multiple times. We spoke frankly on the phone. And special envoy of the president, Mr. Witkoff, traveled out to Russia several times.
Alaska wasn't a low-key affair. Putin used the international media glare to pitch Russia as a legitimate trade partner, pushing back against years of sanctions and isolation.
Mr. Putin, will you commit to not killing any more civilians?
Thank you, press. Let's go. Come on, guys. Thank you, press.
Mr. President.
Thank you, press.
President Putin, why should President Trump trust your word now?
It is clear that the U.S. and Russian investment and business cooperation has tremendous potential. Russia and the U.S. can offer each other so much in trade, digital, high-tech, and in space exploration.
In fact, Putin dug in. He made it clear Russia's core security interests in Ukraine are non-negotiable, framing it effectively as a precondition for any breakthrough in the future.
Russia has its own national interests. I expect that today's agreements will be the starting point, not only for the solution of the Ukrainian issue, but also will help us bring back business-like and pragmatic relations between Russia and the U.S.
Even otherwise bully Trump couldn't do much to get Putin to budge.
So there's no deal until there's a deal. I will call up NATO in a little while. I will call up the various people that I think are appropriate, and I'll, of course, call up President Zelenskiy and tell him about today's meeting.
There was zero concession from Putin's side. No political bargain, no back-channel dilution. If anything, he doubled down on calling EU and Zelenskiy out.
We expect that Kyiv and European capitals will perceive that constructively and that they won't throw a wrench in the works. They will not make any attempts to use some backroom dealings to conduct provocations to torpedo the nascent progress.
Notice this. Not a single mention of a ceasefire across the press conference. Not one line suggesting Russia intends to back off. That silence, in fact, was the signal. Whether the West likes it or not, Russia is firmly back in the conversation.
Incidentally, when the new administration came to power, bilateral trade started to grow. It's still very symbolic. Still, we have a growth of 20%. As I've said, we have a lot of dimensions for joint work. It is clear that the U.S. and Russian investment and business cooperation has tremendous potential.
The Alaska summit itself becomes Putin's re-entry ticket to realpolitik. Strategically, Putin shifted the pressure onto Trump, forcing him to take the onus of dialing up NATO and Zelensky for the next move.
I will call up NATO in a little while. I will call up the various people that I think are appropriate, and I'll, of course, call up President Zelenskiy and tell him about today's meeting. It's ultimately up to them. They're going to have to agree with what Marco and Steve and some of the great people from the Trump administration who've come here, Scott and John Radcliffe. Thank you very much.
And finally, call it what it is. Washington legitimized Putin. They rolled out the red carpet. That's a symbolic victory, and Putin knows the value of that symbolism better than anyone. Putin came to Alaska with a plan. He's walked out with a win.